Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, January 25th. Got a great episode for you guys. We've got some more good recruiting news for future class, but good recruiting news regardless. Exciting. I'm ready to watch this video again. We've also got a special guest coming on that I'm really excited for you all to hear from. He's a VFL. He mentions it. He actually talks about who he considers VFLs, which I love. And he shares John Adams, so I appreciate. I don't know if he intended that, so I don't want to put that on him, but that's who I think about when VFL status is questioned.
Yeah, a really great interview. Kind of a long interview, but we enjoyed it, and I think y'all will enjoy it too. Sure.
Absolutely. We appreciate him coming on. That's Kahlil McKenzie, by the way. I guess I didn't say any names. You may know by now.
Kept you on edge.
Yeah, that's Kahlil McKenzie. He comes on the show here in just a brief minute. We are going to talk about it's been a week without basketball. It's been weird.
Yeah.
I did go bowling last night, so it's okay. We also, like I said, we're talking some recruiting, so we'll get into that. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you have any for Kahlil, I do apologize. I mean, you'll find out because me and Landon are wearing something entirely different than what we are now. It is pre-recorded, so I guess you can ask them. They may get answered, but
we can text them later and ask them.
Yeah.
If it's a really great question that we want to know the answer to, also we will text him and ask him and have it ready for you. Actually,
yes. Let's start doing that.
Okay.
If your question's good enough, we will text to the guest that's on, and we'll get it answered. He may not answer us, but we'll try, and that should count for something. What's up, Ronnie? And yes, Derek Dooley did start the term, but blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yeah. John Curry hired Tony Vitello, so
he also did find it, but it almost, looking back, it seems like a cover to not show how poorly he cared about former players. When you look into his program, similar to we've loved the alternates, and Butch Jones was the first coach to wear true alternate colors, and now we love the black jerseys, the gray jerseys. Blind squirrel finds a nut, but those gray jerseys were really ugly that he had. So took a while to get perfected, similar to the VFL term and program. But I mean, yeah, I guess we can give some credit, sure. And yeah, like you mentioned, Curry hiring Tony Vitello. I mean,
yeah, blind squirrel.
Listen, yeah, sometimes people get it right, and it's unexplainable. It just happens.
Well, let's get into some big recruiting news, and one that had to be done was you need to land. You don't want another Ty Simpson situation. You wanted the guy in state, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, absolutely had to land him. I know Alabama fans are like, oh, he only committed to Tennessee because Nick Saban retired. Well, his video says otherwise.
And honestly, okay.
Yeah, he's an orange, baby.
Did you just prove that at the end of the day, Tennessee's better than Alabama? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
I won't argue Nick Saban. His record speaks for himself.
Are they just accepting that now that Saban's gone, their program is going down?
I don't know if they've accepted it. They've realized it. I don't know if they've accepted it.
Yeah, they probably won't ever accept it, which is fair. yeah, George MacIntyre committed to Tennessee this week. Number 1 player in the state of Tennessee. Breaking news. Number 2 player in the class, according to 247. 5-star quarterback. I know you're like, oh, it says 4-star. Well, they haven't done the 5 stars yet. He's the number 9 player in the country right now. He's absolutely going to be a 5-star.
And his composite's a 5-star if we're just at the end of the day.
And he's from Brentwood Academy, out of Brentwood, Tennessee, and a really good basketball player too. 5'5". Josh Heupel loves tall quarterbacks. Apparently,
checks out that he's good at basketball. Just a high school player at 6'5.5" is probably going to be just one of the better ones out there.
Right, and comes from one of the best programs in the state. Even though didn't have a great year last year, but lost a lot of games. Like I think they lost like 6 1-possession games, which is insane. That
stings. That's honestly just blow us. Like if I'm that team, just blow me out at some point. Don't.
Yeah. Don't get my hopes up.
Yeah.
But yeah, one you actually had to have, and Tennessee found a way to land him. I do want to show this video because, man, whoever did it, all time. I mean, goosebumps all over the body. Here you go.
Great opportunities to follow my dream of playing college football.
Town hero.
And I'm grateful for every one of them.
George MacIntyre.
But there's always been one place close to my heart. It's where I learned about family and faith. And it's where I was born to play football.
Through the trees, honey. Hey, darling, for the next time. Sketches up with me.
From Nashville to Knoxville, the Mississippi to the Smokies, there's just something special about Tennessee. This isn't a decision, it's a calling.
Running through the trees, honey.
And volunteers answer the call. Rocky Top, I'm staying home.
All right, a few community notes. Yes, the video rocks. Secondly, the song choice. You can't go wrong with Coulter Wall.
No. I mean,
in fact, crew at Neyland Stadium, let's work on getting some. It has that same vibe as 10,000 Slaves, that kind of like same kind of beat to it. So let's replace it. Great song, or maybe not replace it. Let's just add it in to that. Get some Coulter Wall sleeping on the blacktop on some videos.
I mean, all-time video.
Yeah.
One of the better recruiting videos. And it's not just because it's Tennessee. Tennessee definitely gives us some style points for sure. But, yeah, I mean, it's a call.
Is he a writer? Yeah, is he a writer? Who wrote the did Georgie Mac write that line? Because kind of a banger.
Yeah.
We'll drop it in the part about being a volunteer too as well. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's just well written. Brentwood Academy, just bringing them up, man. Academics, let me tell you.
Fire me up.
Hey, he's already got me bought in. Nothing else.
Yeah, I am sold.
PR, baby.
And I do think like that commitment, it looks like it stirred up recruiting a little bit. Now, how much of an impact it has, I guess we'll find out. But it seemed like a lot of players were interested and made sure their presence was known on social media, and congratulating George. He had 5-star, 4-star Jalen Matthews reach out, Caden Strayhorn, another offensive lineman. I think the number 1 offensive tackle in the country, and David Sanders also reached out on Instagram. So you had George commenting to some 5-star receivers and Caleb Cunningham, Jamie French, who recently just decommitted from Alabama. I mean, it just seemed like got the wheels turning a little bit in this 2025 class. And I mean, what a start to it. I know you had some guys already committed, but like when you're looking at the anchor of your class, it starts at quarterback. And that's why you land them so early. Nico was early. Jake Merklinger was early. And it kind of sets up a domino effect. And you usually have those guys back on campus when these other people are visiting. I mean, who doesn't want a 5-star quarterback to block for? Who doesn't want to have a 5-star quarterback throwing to him?
Well, let's not use the 5-star quarterback to block, but they can block for him.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
I know what you mean. I just want to.
Yeah.
We don't need him
Like
blocking.
to throw a block. I guess
Maybe
we
like
can.
one in his career, like one main block on like a reverse. I would love to see, but
yeah, in a meaningful game.
yeah, like national championship game on the line. We
Yeah.
throw a reverse in there. He gets a block that gets someone into space.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah, just a huge commit for Tennessee, and man, it just seems like. I mean, I know a lot of people are trying to dip in the transfer portal for a quarterback. It doesn't look like Tennessee's going to have to do that anytime soon.
Yeah, and they'll probably well, not for a starter, but probably, and that's going to be the nature of it. There's probably going to be a quarterback transfer out here in the near future for Tennessee. Which one? Good question. But Tennessee loading up and looks like they're going to have the ability to find the right guy. I'm not going to call shots right now.
Yeah,
they're going to have the ability to.
And that's a good thing. Like you land all this talent, and a lot of teams have done this, is stack really good quarterbacks, and like whoever wins the job, like the other guy transfers, you got the best guy at the end of the day. So,
hopefully,
yeah. I mean, what more could you really want? You've seen Ohio State do it. Alabama's done it a little bit until recently, I guess.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, just a big get for Tennessee and a big get for this 2025 class. Kind of start that up.
Yeah, and I mean, quarterback's good. I mean, quarterback's good to be your anchor, your cornerstone of the class. I think it's even more impactful than only as a quarterback. It's a very, very highly rated quarterback. One of the highest rated in the country. Definitely is in the state. That's huge. We talked about that in the interview with Kahlil McKenzie of being getting in early and then trying to rally the troops. He's going to be at events this summer with other highly rated guys. He's going to be at all-star games and or all-star events with 5-star, 4-star guys and be around them and build those relationships with them, which ones he gets to be determined. But he's going to have the ability to try to get some guys on board with him. And that's huge for Tennessee because kind of part of building the culture. You want the culture to feel right. There's so many different things at play publicly now with NIL, but when we're talking about NIL opportunities, they're going to be very, very similar across the big schools. You look at George MacIntyre and literally being recruited by every team in the country. I mean, even Kentucky Christian probably sent him a letter at some point. Everyone wanted him. And there's not, when we talk about NIL, there's not necessarily one better than the other at the top schools. Sure, some may be able to provide some more opportunities, but how much bigger those are, I don't know. So Tennessee being in the mix now with now having George MacIntyre on board to build relationships, kind of help build culture in the class. Talked about that with McKenzie. Like those dudes in his class are still super tight, and that's a huge factor in recruiting. Is also the guys you're coming in with. So yeah, this is massive. It can't be understated.
Yeah. Also, like just in state wise, I mean, you have guys like Ethan Utley. He plays 7-on-7 with a lot of these guys. Jalen Morgan out of Rockville. I think Rodarius Jackson, another wide receiver. Cameron Sparks at the Baylor School is a really highly rated 4-star athlete, probably going to be a receiver at Tennessee. So, yeah, I mean, he's got a good relationship already with a lot of these guys. And also, like, he's been on this circuit for quite a while. Like, he knows a lot of the national guys, too. So, again, kind of like you said, just building relationships and, you got to kind of run with that. And it's, again, huge to land him early. We're able to kind of build off him and just kind of reap the benefits of having such – a good, highly rated quarterback is one thing, but a guy that it just seems like he is all in on peer recruiting.
Yeah.
You got to
well, he's a quarterback. He's the leader. He's naturally. And so, yeah, of course. And hey, I mean, it's good to edge out FIU too. I know you had some family connections there, so that one was going to be tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Way to throw them a bone. They're in there. They got their name out there.
Exactly. I was going to say something else about
DeBoer can't recruit? Are we saying that?
I mean, some people at Alabama aren't there. I mean, they pretend it's funny to see the quote unquote sunshine pumpers of Alabama pretending that things are better than they've ever been.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're in the trend. They're not in the toilet by any means.
Yeah.
But yes, I hope. But yeah, that's it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, just enjoying it from afar.
Dude, I'm watching this. I've got Texas or North Texas and SMU on. North Texas basketball court. Maybe not the court as a whole, but in the lane, they have the Texas State flag in green. It's pretty freaking sweet. Just a note.
Just a little side note there. I appreciate
Speaking of basketball courts and or arenas and or
it counts as geography. We love geography here.
Bingo. Yeah, dude, Danny White just coming for throats.
He's so tired of getting
so tired.
Just tweeted about the most outlandish ideas that people just pop in their head.
I love the idea too that he probably has notifications turned off for Twitter. Like probably doesn't see that stuff, but the intern that has to send out the tweets from his account, he's like, "Hey man," kind of like Dylan. He's like, "I'm either gonna have to log out and you're gonna have to send me the pass, or you're gonna have to approve it every time I log in, or fix this crap." That's how it went down in my head.
Yeah,
guy came in to quit. He's like, "If you don't tell this guy to shut up, I'm done today."
And he did. I mean, without saying actually shut up, he kind of just did.
And I don't necessarily 100% agree with him because I think there's ways to make those bigger arenas in college basketball, especially, feel more like the smaller ones, like the Cameron indoor kind of type of environment, and maintain the arena feel. So I don't necessarily entirely agree with him. Now those are massive renovations, I think, to make it do that, but I do love that because they have also made changes to help the environment. They haven't done nothing.
Right.
So I mean, I guess I agree with part of it, but yeah, it is just funny to kind of be like, "Hey, shut up. This is how we do it."
Hard to argue.
Yeah.
Now, what do you say?
Yeah. Also, can we quit pretending that Thompson Bowling Arena can't get rocking and isn't a home court advantage? Sure, it's not a massive home court advantage. It's not just it's not
it isn't every single night, but for a big game like an SEC game, I think it holds its own pretty well.
Yeah, it's certainly not every single night, and like there's it's not like I will not parade Tennessee fans as a whole. We're just not, we're quote unquote rowdy, but we're not rowdy always in the great ways. I mean, there's times in Neyland where I'm like, can we get going? And Neyland's one of the best in the country by far. Mm-hmm. And there's just random times where it's not, in my opinion, loud enough. And Thompson Bowling is kind of the same way. And it's never, not never. Let's not say never. It's not one of the ones you think of when you think of massive home court advantages, but it's got a home court advantage. I think Tennessee's home record speaks for itself over the last 5 years.
Pretty good.
They don't just, I mean, yes, we've had good basketball teams, but you can't say it isn't a home court advantage based on that record.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
It's got a lot.
It has changed. Sure. It has changed leaps and bounds. I'm not complaining like a lot of people are about the student section. I just think there are ways it can be fixed while maintaining keeping the wealthy happy. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah, like, I mean, let's be honest. If they want to do massive renovations to make it seem like that, who's paying for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
The people that they're going to move out of those seats. I mean,
it's a tough sell. Let me tell you. Hey, would y'all want to move back about 10 rows ish?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pay the same amount of money.
May or may not be able to see.
Have you considered donating, I don't know, a couple $100,000, depending on who you are, maybe a couple million to this renovation as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. Mm-hmm. But Danny White doesn't hold back, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, bad news, we won't get to see Tennessee and Thompson on Saturday. It will be at if we're just going to sit here and complain about Thompson, we're going to
I was about to
Memorial
say,
Gymnasium. Let's be a little gracious on what we have.
it's not going to be the same. It's not Thompson Bowl Arena. It's not going to be the same as Thompson Bowl Arena, but it's going to be very orange on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
You can also go there. You can get in for $61 right now if you'd like. Also, I know we hate on Memorial, and maybe you don't feel the same. It's one of the arenas, state gymnasiums, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the ones I would really like to see a basketball game at.
Okay.
It's unique.
I don't think that's on my list, but hey, I wouldn't mind seeing a game there. That's not what I think about when I'm like, man, I gotta see a game there.
Not a lot of basketball arenas really stand out to me though, that I feel like I have to see a game at.
Yeah. I just like seeing dubs wherever they're at. And Tennessee should definitely get a dub on Saturday. Vanderbilt's horrible. 0-5 in the conference. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games. The only win in there is Dartmouth. Yikes. They got 2 guys scoring in double figures. They're only averaging 67 points per game. Tennessee is averaging almost 80. I just think this should be a bloodbath. Dalton Connect have another big game. Jordan Gainey hopefully have some confidence. Jonas Adu, keep doing your thing. Zakai, keep this train rolling, and let's keep it going. Let's keep Vandy's streak going of being winless in conference play.
Yeah, that would be very appreciative. This should not be a game Tennessee has struggles due to the opposing team. Any struggles that come are going to be kind of internal, quote unquote. They're going to be self-inflicted. You have several games in SEC play. Most games, other than really the one Tennessee lost, have been bloodbaths. They should be a bloodbath.
Yeah. Their leading rebounder is a 6'4" guard. I think if that tells you anything, Jonas Adu, Toby Awaka should have a freaking game.
I feel like you should be able to beat this team bad enough that they fired Jerry Stackhouse that night.
This is it.
I feel like you really should probably beat this team that bad.
Yeah.
Double them up, baby.
I will say this. If the loss to Presbyterian or San Francisco, Western Carolina, if that didn't do it, I don't know how bad Tennessee has to win to fire Jerry Stackhouse.
You'll find out on Saturday.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it because it would take an absolute demolishing.
And that's kind of what I'm saying is that this team is so not good, and Tennessee's playing very good basketball right now. I don't love that you do take a couple nights off. It's one of those sports where you kind of want to play to stay in the groove. So you've taken a couple of nights off. Would really like to see how they respond and rebound from that. But I do. I like.
Yeah, let's play this one like another bye
pants
game.
Him down.
Yeah,
like another what?
Like another bye game. Like let's get in, score a lot, get everybody their stats, get out, and let's play some young guys.
Yeah, if we've got any local Nashville kids on the roster I'm not aware of, that means they're very deep. Let's get them in the game. Let them premiere at home.
Let's get Mike Wilson to write up a story about some walk-on that hit 2 threes in this game.
Love that. He's already got it written, actually. He's just waiting to hit send.
Yeah, just waiting for that one game where he actually does it.
Yep. We have a question. Can Tennessee move to a number 1 line with the remaining schedule? At some point in the season, possibly. Sure, they're at 5 right now. Yeah, and there's obviously been some teams that have struggled at times ahead of them, but there's also some teams playing really, really good basketball right now. So it's kind of Tennessee's rightfully in the position they're in. So going to take some teams to probably lose to make up ground.
You win out, you're definitely going to be number 1 at some point.
Yes, if you win out, because you just assume in basketball one of those teams are going to lose once or twice.
Yeah.
Surely. So yes. And Tennessee's got a fairly tough schedule coming up here soon. Mainly that's Kentucky at Rupp on a Saturday. So I don't know. That's going to be an exciting game.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun to watch Kentucky struggle. I'll say that.
South Carolina is also a little better than everybody thought. Took down Alabama Kentucky. Sorry.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
They embarrassed Kentucky.
Took them out back.
Yeah.
There's some tough games left on the schedule. You mentioned Kentucky twice. You got Auburn. You got at Alabama. You do have to play South Carolina twice. Texas A&M was supposed to be decent this year. I think they're a little underwhelming, but it's still at Texas A&M.
Well, I was going to say that about A&M. Really, A&M and Arkansas both two not great teams this year, but also two teams that can give you trouble night in, night out.
I think Arkansas. I think they're about to put Gus.
They look like butt. They look like butt this year. I think the way they play can give you trouble night in, night out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, they definitely have some talent. They just have not put it together. 1-5 in conference play right now.
No, they don't look as bad. They look worse than Texas A&M. Texas A&M looks as bad as Arkansas. Those are just two, again, not good teams that I feel can give you trouble. Teams like Vanderbilt, who are just god awful, I really don't. They're going to have to show me they can give a team trouble before I believe that.
Yeah, man. I feel
Missouri
like
looks awful.
Yeah,
as well. I'm not convinced they can give teams trouble. I mean,
so many road games. The only road game that we play Auburn at home, but and obviously we play Kentucky at home, but we play at Texas A&M, at Arkansas, at Missouri. We obviously play at Kentucky, at Vanderbilt. Good Lord.
But we do get Auburn at home.
Yeah.
Did you mention that? Sorry, I think you did.
Yeah, I did. And Tennessee's right now, they're tied three-way tie, I guess, with Alabama and Auburn for first in the conference.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, this is a year that because we talked about it, and Kentucky obviously lost South Carolina in an embarrassing way. I'm not convinced Alabama will be in the mix come into the year, but really just three teams that are gonna battle for number one seed for regular season conference championship, and Tennessee's in that mix. Takes a lot of kind of things, ball bouncing your ball bouncing the right way, you playing good basketball consistently, and that's a lot of factors with a lot of things Tennessee needs to happen to, with like Jonas Aidoo consistently playing well like he has been the last few games. You need that throughout February, and January. I don't want to forget this last game in January. Also, Tennessee is technically a half game back because they didn't play this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I just checked that. And both Alabama and Auburn won. So, yeah, you have the ability to be in that mix.
Yeah, just go take care of business.
And it truly starts Saturday, because the challenge I told you, and I think it's more again of an internal challenge than about the opponent across the court. In fact, I would say for this challenge, it's nice that it's that opponent on the court with you.
Yeah.
Just to bounce, you've played really, really good basketball at this point. You had a lot of momentum going. Probably kind of felt that come to a halt. Maybe you did like the rest, but you don't want to kill that momentum. So it's just a challenge of finding the consistency you just built, even though you took a week off, which isn't normal in a basketball season other than your little winter break, if you will. Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they do it. If they do, I feel even better about this basketball team than I already do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Tennessee should smother their guards. I don't think they have much of an inside presence. So again, I think Jonas Aidoo and Awaka should be able to to have a pretty good game, good showing, and Dalton Connect just do what you do.
Let's get a Jonas Adu double-double.
Another one.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And let's get Freddie some more minutes. Let's get, hopefully Jordan Gainey's able to just keep it going.
I would argue let's not give Freddie more minutes. That was the most points he's had. And other than that 1 minute showing he had, that was a very short amount of minutes. Or do we get him 8 minutes and he gets 10 points?
Yeah, I'm just all
How does that work?
Why are we playing Dalton Connect up 25 points with like 5 minutes to go? I don't understand that.
It's the Heisman campaign. We're campaigning for the Wooden Award.
I guess, but good God. And Zakai's the same way. Zakai's like, they're like, yeah, he's still coming back from injury. My ass. I mean, he plays more than anybody.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the two teams they've stayed in laid up on are Florida and Alabama. And I'm not going to complain about beating their brains in.
That's true.
Play Dalton Connect 40 minutes against Vanderbilt. Let him get 60 points. I don't care.
That
LeBron
would
James
be-
will remember exactly where he was at when he saw Dalton Connect drop 60 at Memorial Gymnasium against Vanderbilt.
I would like to see Dalton Connect score 44 and just get one up on Grant Williams of what they did in Memorial Gymnasium.
That's fair. I mean, so the Florida example, Alabama, he could have come out earlier, sure. When your guys playing like that against Florida, you just let him run. You let the guys have record nights. So what's the point? If he's in that 40 range again, you just let him run, try to beat Grants.
I guess if he's in that range, you kind of let him do his thing, but
you only get so many chances to set records, break records.
Yeah, March is just getting closer and closer. I'm just like, let's not kill our legs for March. Let's just
Yeah, but could argue that if they never play a 40-minute game and you get March and have to play 40-minute games.
I think we played enough 40-minute games already. Zakai has especially. I think like Rick Barnes, I don't think he like looks at the clock ever. I think he's just like, go play basketball.
He just plays off
whenever
field,
they
maybe.
tell me, whenever they blow the whistle and say come to the bench, and then I guess I'll like do some coaching.
I don't mind. He's doing a good job doing that. So keep doing what you're doing, Rick.
I think he has his like, what's like the horses have
Blinders.
in the race. Yeah, the blinders on. I think he has that where he just does not look at the clock at all.
Well, the kid's running, so
I think that's why he doesn't call timeouts ever. That would explain it.
I see what you're saying with the injury point. I'm someone in the boat of, and I know I'm going to hear the argument as the game gets later, the risk for injury gets higher, but guys get injured all the time early in games. Sakai's injury didn't come late in the game. Like, in my opinion, and my philosophy as a coach was this way too. I just, injuries are going to happen when injuries happen, unfortunately. Everyone's had really, really dumb injuries. Athletes get injured off the court or off the field. I don't disagree. I'm not going to ever bash a coach for pulling a guy out up 20 with, 6 minutes remaining. But depending on the game too, if it's not a super, super physical game, which Tennessee doesn't find themselves in many of those, they usually bring the physicality out of teams because of the way they play. It's another thing. It's like, you're risking injury from running, sure, but at that point, like, what are we going to do? Wrap guys in bubble wrap every game and hope they don't get injured and hang around for March? So I'm 50-50 on it. I won't sit here and argue with you about the last few games because they've been just absolute undressings of other teams.
Yeah.
I don't have the same philosophy of get that guy the heck out of there all the time. So
yeah, I just, when Rick Barnes at the podium says, yeah, Dalton Connect was gassed at the end of the game, I'm like, well, why?
Well, and I as a coach would have pulled Dalton Connect out of the Florida game just because they were forcing the ball so hard to him. And I get it. They wanted him to score, but I go back to my argument. The guy scored 39 points just playing basketball. Guys, just go play basketball. He'll get his points.
Yeah.
So that one I will say I would have pulled him the moment I could tell that they were only going to throw it to him.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Vanderbilt has no depth at all, and Tennessee does. I think you use that against them. I think you wear them out defensively like you do everybody else. I said their season average was 67. If that's your season average, I think Tennessee doesn't let them score 50 points. Unless they just have an all-time game, which Vanderbilt is very capable of against Tennessee.
Yeah, I think they broke their missed three-pointer streak against Tennessee, didn't they? That year they had hit a three-pointer in like 31 games or something like that.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. But yeah, should be a beating, stress-free game hopefully, and then you get South Carolina at home before you head to Kentucky.
Yeah. I couldn't remember when Zakai exactly got injured. All I know is in the article written up by good friend, great writer Mike Wilson, it does say the opening minutes against
yeah, it was early.
Arkansas.
It was early in the game.
I knew it was early in the game, definitely first half, definitely. It says opening minutes. So I don't know if that's before the under 16 timeout. I don't know what that looks like. So
yeah. That's kind of all I got for Vanderbilt. Excited for this show y'all this interview that we got with VFL Kahlil McKenzie.
Yeah. Did you tell me to do something before that? I'm sorry.
No, I did not.
Okay. I was finishing reading Mike's article because he worked hard on that. All right. Yes, this is the interview with Kahlil McKenzie. I'm sorry. I'll stop. We now welcome a very special guest. We're excited to get on. We're always excited to have our VFLs, but this one especially, Kahlil McKenzie. We can even drop the full name because there's even some history there. But we appreciate you coming on, man. We're excited to have you and talk a little ball.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate, the platform and what you guys do. So I had to come on and show you guys a little bit of love.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, appreciate it. It seems like everything is going well for you right now. You got a wife, a little Trey running around. You can maybe hear him a little bit.
Yeah.
You just got drafted by the St. Louis Battlehawks in the UFL, and just recently got a new job.
Yeah. So, everything is. I appreciate that. Everything's going as well as it can be. I guess the biggest thing for me is just kind of, especially from getting injured last year, going and doing the XFL when it was the XFL during the off season, instead of just, signing the futures, doing that whole thing. Wanted to, because I hadn't played offensive line. Like that was the biggest, kind of gripe against me is, hey, love what you do in practice, preseason, all this stuff, but you just haven't played full games, full preseason, or even like full games in the preseason. I never played a whole game or anything, and never played center, and everybody wants me to play center. And it's like, as much as I love it, I'm like, hey, like only barely been in the position now for 3 years total. Yeah. 3 years total. Cause the 2 years that I had in Cincinnati and Baltimore, the first year were both D-line. So only had 3 total years playing the position total in my life. And they've all been in the NFL, and, it's already like, hey, let's snap the ball. Let's do this. Let's do it. So it's like getting it all, but at the same time, it's a compliment, but at the same time it is, it's tough and it's hard to try and find that amount of film that equates to, for a lot of these guys, their entire life plus college, plus what they've now done in the pros. So trying to get that, and then getting injured, being out for a longer period of time than I expected to be. Took just, a little bit more time to heal than, what we at first expected. Still doing great, but, then only got really one opportunity to go do a workout. Did a workout with the New England Patriots. And of course, the day before I go out there to do my workout, they have 2 guys they lose to for the season. So it's like all of us there working out, we're like, it's cool to be here, I guess. None of us play the positions that they just lost for the season. So, we're just here pretty much. So, but yeah, like you said, everything's going as well as it can be. I mean, I'm excited about the job, excited about the opportunity with the UFL. So just what could have been, I guess, type thing.
Sure. Yeah, I wanted to ask about the transition from D-line to O-line because, you're talking about playing center. Like, you have to have a good relationship with that quarterback, and then you playing defensive line, it's total opposite.
Yeah.
So what's that been like to actually, like, enjoy the presence of a quarterback?
It's that's a funny way to put it. I've never been asked it like that. I was about to say, I'm like, that made me think a little bit. I literally have never been asked it like that. I think it's different because you go from like saying like, hey, like really like everybody on offense I hated. Like my roommates were John Kelly, Sharon Jones, and Michael Lacey, all three offensive guys. And before that, it was Tommy Townsend, Riley Lovingood, and Laszlo Tozer. And I had Drew Richmond and Preston Williams and Malik Gatewood too. So it's like a lot of my roommates were offensive or special teams. Like Malik was the only roommate that I had that played defense. Or live with, and then I lived with my boy Quake Piku for a year or two, my last year. So it was like the majority of the time I was around offensive guys, and I guess just how I felt. Sorry, just kind of like how I felt about the game. Sorry, my phone.
Oh, you're good.
Computer.
Busy man.
So it's telemarketers always. What's it called? You got like a different sense of the game, if you will. Like when I switched to offense, it became like you actually had to like know everything. Like defense, I always tell guys is like as hard as it is to play defensive line because you have to be a different special type of athlete to be able to, whether it's just you're holding up double teams, whether it's you're being asked to sack the quarterback, like both of those things are extremely hard to do. So it's like only certain amount of guys are able to do it, but it's kind of the only thing you're asked to do outside of running to the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Like, dude, get up there, play center against two guys in both A gaps, and not let one guy be over the top of you too. Like then it's crazy. There's three guys in front of you and you got to direct four other guys. Plus the quarterback has to feel confident in whatever you say.
Right.
And, you might have skill positions that you might need to be sure that they're doing too. So it's like center, I think, while it is like it's super challenging, I think it's like honestly becoming like one of my favorite type things to like learn and get better at. Because for me, the biggest thing was snapping the ball. Like it was like snapping the ball consistently where a quarterback needs it. Cause you have different quarterbacks. You have some who are like, hey, like I want it right here. There's some who are like, I want it, kind of right here. I want it here. So I'm already ready to throw the ball. Like I have one dude, shout out my guy, Tristan Colon. He's actually with the Cardinals right now. He went to Mizzou guy, but he was with me in Baltimore. And literally he was a center and like he remembered me back when we like played Mizzou and stuff like that. But like he could snap the ball and like get it to come back like perfectly, like they're just taking it off a QB stand. Don't know how he did it, but he's just like, watch. He's just like, watch. Like, I promise you, no matter if I just like get set and just like snap it, it's always going to end up like that. And he does not snap a spiral. He just snaps the ball wonky, but it always comes back perfect. It's like witchcraft. And so like when you start to like really kind of see those things and like the different styles of play with offensive linemen, like you got some guys who just put their feet in the ground and say, run at me. Like Kevin Zeitler, being around Kevin Zeitler was awesome because he's just like an anchor. It's like you just can't move him. And then you've got guard and Mike Iupati, DJ Fluker when I was in Seattle. Yeah. And then I had, like I watched a lot of Joe Thuney film when I was like, learning the position and things like that. And I had Cam Irving as my starting guard when I was in Kansas City. And Cam was like right around 300 pounds and like just an athlete, played all five positions. So it's like you just get to see so many different styles of the game. And it's just like, man, like you can do this and you can do that. And me, like, for me, it was like different because it's like I didn't have a style of play for my offensive line, kind of style. I took stuff from everybody. I'm like, hey, this guy does this guy does this. Like, I'm a D lineman, so I just, obviously I was like, I'm probably a little bit more athletic than most of you. And I'm just like, hey, like, I'm going to just kind of apply whatever works. I just kind of listened to everybody and picked the guys who had really, really good technique and kind of just went from there, But it was It was. It's very, very different from when you change that mentality to like, I gotta crush this guy, to like I have to protect this guy for my entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally with my entire life.
Yeah, and then you get moments where you, I guess not much at center, but if you playing guard, you had some moments where you get to get out into space and you're pretty much playing defensive line now. You're just tackling dudes. You just see them hit them. So you do get those moments, I guess.
Yeah, getting out in space is fun. It's especially in like practice and stuff, and like you really are just like, oh, let me just kind of show off a little bit. Like we like really, really spend. Because in a game, I've been in space a couple times where it's like you're measuring so much because you're like, there's actually a dude behind me who's gonna get hit. Like, I gotta make sure I make this block, to where he can go and like all this type of stuff. So it's fun in games. I like just pulling down the line or pulling period, like a power type thing where I know something's gonna probably be on the box. Once you get out in space too much, like you have to like in the back of your mind, you're like, I need to look behind me because like where is this guy? Like I gotta make sure I block this guy right so he can have a good cut. And that's when you end up like, oh, all of a sudden this guy's over here instead of right in front of you because he's much more of an athlete than you.
So your friend Trey Smith just has that kind of instinct because head down. He might be able to get some targeting calls on him. So the way he hits some guys. He's leaving his feet often. I love it.
Yes. I was about to say Trey's just he's gonna sell out for it. He does not care. He's like he's gonna hit you or he's gonna get in your way or something like it is what it is. He's just like, I'm just going for it. And that's why I love watching him play. Like Trey's one of those guys where one, it's great to just, know him, period. But like also just to like see him play and see the way he plays. It's just like, dude, like you're phenomenal. It's just like he really is. And like seeing him from the first day he came on campus to now, you know what I'm saying? It's like some guys you're not surprised, and he's one of those guys where it's just like, yeah, I'm absolutely not surprised that you're just dominant at any point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I did too kind of want to, I guess you sort of spoke about that transition to offensive line. I'm sure you talked with your dad a lot, a guy who has a ton of experience in the NFL front office, knows what draft process and workouts look like. What was the discussion and was there, I'm sure you talked about the difficulty. Was there some hesitation when we show up to workouts and it's like, okay, we're going to see you on the opposite side of the ball today?
Yeah. Hesitation. No. Cause I
get drafted.
Yeah. You get drafted and like, it's all like the excitement. So like, as much as like I was just like, let me learn. Like my rookie minicamp film is atrocious. Like I'm like skipping around. Like I didn't know what to do. I'd never really done it. I had limited amount of time to like really kind of learn the position. So everything was just a growing process. And thank God I am an athlete because they would have just got me out of there in about a week. But it was just like it's one of those things where it's it's kind of that I had to switch my mindset because my rookie year, I'm not going to lie, it was a lot of not bitter, but mad that I wasn't getting it, I guess, as fast as I wanted to. And then at the same time, feeling like, hey, like when I am getting it, does it even matter type thing? You know what I mean? Because it's like, we know you're, the word that a coach had used was, this is basically like a red shirt year for you. You know what I mean? And I was just like, man, like, I'm still here. I still got to go against Chris Jones in practice all the time. It doesn't feel like red shirting, I see red shirts like that. It wasn't like that. Like, so it's like,
and there's probably that level too of when you feel like you're not getting it, you're thinking, hey, there's a position on the field that I am comfortable at. I know how to play and what to do, and I'm not playing it. And I'm sure that's got to be tough as well.
Yeah, it definitely was, especially because it was, for a couple of years I played, especially in practice, I would go both ways, especially if we didn't have like, it's still a business at the end of the day. If you know that you have a guy who knows how to play defensive line and offensive line, why carry another guy on practice squad when you can, just say, hey, you're not playing on Saturday, on Sunday, so let's go ahead and make you practice all day long. And I did that for a couple of years, doing offense and defense, basically practicing the entire time during practice. You know what I'm saying? So,
so you're the original Travis Hunter, is what you're telling us.
Only in practice, though. Only in practice. I promise you, you're not getting 100-something reps out of me in a game. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I got the highest rep count I ever had was 40 something against the Bengals, or when I was with the Bengals against the Ravens. Had like 40 some reps in that game, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
that's enough." Yeah,
as a D tackle, I'm like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, the trenches.
No one else.
They're different.
Yeah, it was crazy. We had DJ Reader had like 60 something earlier that season. It was just like we gotta fix something. We gotta fix something, guys. Maybe we went to the Super Bowl next year. So
right, you were in that 2015 class. I think it ended up being the number 3 class in the country with Alvin Kamara. I don't know if you've heard of him. Juwan Jennings.
Right.
Yeah.
AK6.
Yeah. John Kelly, Shy Tuttle, Kyle Phillips, all those guys. What was that kind of like being in a class with that much? Because, like, everybody knew that talent was coming in, and now to see it, like, guys like Juwan and AK doing their thing in the NFL, what was that kind of like? And then, obviously, being a legacy player with your dad going to Tennessee from the Knoxville area, what was that kind of like?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. I mean, everybody in that class were still super duper close, man. You forgot my man Mike Abernathy. He's over there in Atlanta.
Oh, that's right.
Too,
right.
Yeah, so it's like a couple other guys too. I mean, we got guys really just out there just doing it. Shy is doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Just got paid too. So Manny and Cam both about to play, and Reeves. So it's like there's just guys everywhere. Like the talent we had was crazy. And, I know I kind of preface no questions about, a certain somebody, but it's like, man, we had it, we definitely had it. And I think, our first year with Coach Janczyk, especially on defense, I mean, man, I love Coach Janczyk. It was awesome to have him, and still, really close with that family and things like that. Coach Martinez too. He's still there at Tennessee now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we had really, really good pieces in place. I think it was just one of those things where it's just lights were too bright, I guess is the easiest way to kind of say it. But, I think with that, you kind of see kind of what everybody is now, kind of shows like, all right, kind of validates everybody's kind of thought process then too. Because it's like, I can tell people, I was like, hey man, like one of the things that like kills me is like people thinking that stuff like gets to us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, like do you realize what we say to each other in practice? Like, have you ever witnessed a fight during football? Like, it's serious. Like we're okay. We actually, sometimes just don't like each other, but we get through it and we got to go play a game and stuff. So we read something on the internet, we're okay. It's like, it's like, I always like joke. I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, like I love being called a bust. Cause it's like, man, at the same time, like, hey, I was a 360. I think I was like 360 something at like the Under Armour or the Adidas little game, the US
American game. Yeah.
I was like, man, like I appreciated everybody calling me the number 1 player in the country. I didn't play a snap my senior year, and I was 360 pounds at the All-Star game. Whoever came up with that should have been fired. Lamar Jackson was in my class. Were you not in down in Hope? I always say it wrong. Were you always down there in Florida? Like you should have been. I'm like, I always tell people that. I'm like, hey, like, but at the same time, it's like I look at that and I'm just like, dude, switched the position, played 5 years in the NFL. Like I'm like. I don't know what more you kind of want for people. Our life expectancy is about like 1 point something years, beating the odds every single time. And that's what I see when I see all these guys. Like, look at Juwan right now. Look at him. Look, Trey's about to play he's playing in his 3rd straight AFC championship, trying to go back-to-back Super Bowl champ. You've got Tommy Townsend even. I know he transferred, but if the noodles like Tommy making it there, like that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's
absolutely
he's still balling. Like, I don't care.
VFL.
What's it called? Like JK still is out there too, and then you see Alvin. You just saw what Dobbs did.
Oh, like Darrell Taylor's another one, right?
Exactly. Shoot, even look at Theo Jackson, Ty Chandler, Brandon Johnson. Like, dude, like these. I mean, I always tell people, I'm just like, hey guys, I'm like, I get it. If you don't think we want to do in the Natty,
I
mean every single day, like guys, we can really do this. And then, just didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that's football though. And I think that's one of like the coolest thing about the job I'm doing now is like seeing these kids when they lose or when they win, the different emotions, and like just telling them like, hey man, at the end of the day, this is a game.
Yeah.
You're just learning life lessons to be able to help you live life. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to play this game for your entire life. I promise you, Jerry Rice wishes he could suit up right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's got to learn how to.
Not everybody's Tom Brady.
Exactly. Yeah, not everybody's Tom Brady. And can just sit back there for forever. And, just and your coach be okay if you're just like, oh, somebody's coming straight up the middle. I'm just going down, coach. You're going to lose these 12 yards. So it's just like it's twofold. It's, seeing that talent and kind of seeing what they're doing now, I think is the more validating thing than, hey, we weren't able to produce then. And at the same time, like, I think there were some great things that we did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely some highs for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I had plenty of fun as a fan. I mean, there was obviously some times you don't want to live again, but there was also some really fun games in there too. And that's part of being a fan too, is you're not gonna win a championship every year.
Well, up until recently, like that was like all the highlights, all like the big games. Like it was during those 2015, 2016 years.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, during that time, I mean, we got kind of the kitchen sink from injuries to. I always tell people, I'm like, dude, like even the game when I had my first start against Bama, like went down the 6th play, but like I wasn't even the only person that got hurt for the season that game.
That was 2016, right?
Yeah, 2016.
And that was the year where everything kind of felt like it lined up roster-wise and schedule-wise. It was a tough schedule, but it felt like it lined up good. And yeah, that was the week before Danny O'Brien goes down for the year.
Yeah, Danny went out for the year, and then lost me, lost Shy, lost – who else did we lose? We lost a DN too, because Kongbo ended up having to play D tackle most of the year. So it was like,
that's right.
It was crazy. Like we were just losing people just left and right, and then still having to go out there and perform. And like, we're in the SEC. Like guys, even though we talk about in the league, like there isn't a conference like it. Like it's not a joke. Like we don't, it's fun to joke with people on Twitter and stuff like that and social media, but like this is the closest thing to the NFL as you're going to get. Half these kids are going to be on rosters, whether they're starting or, backup guys. Like they're going to get invites and they're going to probably get there and they're going to be like, oh, we can work with this kid,
Right.
So it's a grueling schedule. It's a grueling time. And, kind of like you said, like we had everything kind of lined up and just didn't work out.
Right. I want to go back to high school real quick because I want to get your views on the transfer portal. Are you bitter now with the way everything shook up? I mean, it feels like in high school it's even more loose than college. They're like, yeah, just do what you want at this point.
Imagine not playing your senior year of high school and still getting a fat NIL deal.
I do think about it. Every time I see a picture of John Gruden or Eric Berry in a bucket hat or something like that, or myself in a bucket hat, I'm like, man,
these would have sold.
Yeah, I was like, man, they didn't go because like a funny story, like the shop on campus, like the wall shop on campus, literally Alumni Hall didn't sell bucket hats. And like it was crazy. It was like all that stuff. But like being bitter, no. Because me being a player, like one, I was very blessed growing up. You know what I'm saying? So like when I got to college and the opportunity to even get money was like cool. Like this is awesome. Like my guys know whatever they needed, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got in trouble plenty of times with my parents over it. And I was just like, hey, like, I'm going to look out. I'm good. I'm fine doing whatever, but I'm going to throw this to them, whatever, all this type of thing. And I think bitter would be tough for me only because it would imply that like, I don't want these kids to get this, because I do because, it is hard playing college sports. And I always tell people, I'm like, it'll just self-correct itself. Like all the everyone's like, oh, well, what if a kid transfers and then, he doesn't even play anymore? I'm like, that's good. Maybe he can find out that he's really good at math. Like, that's not a bad thing. Like, that's really not a bad thing. Like, the real world is still a place. Like, it's like,
right.
At most, like, even Tom, like, 20-something years, he played like 20 years, right? Tom Brady?
Yeah, I think
at least.
Right, was he,
it's like, yeah, like, at most. Yeah, so like at most you play like 20-something years. Like you're still gonna be in like your 40s or hopefully not your 50s when you retire. Like you're still got a lot of life left. You're not just hanging it up. You know what I'm saying? So like getting these kids to like say, hey, like instead of sitting on a roster 3 deep, like, excuse me, let me transfer, let me do any of this stuff. And like you said, in high school, I mean, I guess bitter for high school. Yeah,
just that, because they said, didn't they say
not
letting you play because it was we think he's transferring for athletic reasons, which California has schools similar to the Texas. They go and play there a couple times a year, and there's a lot of guys transferring for athletic reasons, but they tagged you.
Yep. So bitter about that. Yes, they took away my senior year of high school, which is absolutely insane. The best part about it was the coach of my school. We're walking in, he's just like, "Hey, man, I'll probably just give you the 6th game. It won't be anything, crazy. All this stuff. Like we're all here. We all got your back. Blah blah. All this type of thing." Proceed to walk into this like little room. They come out with, because my mom's a lawyer, so like she wasn't gonna like have me just represented by no one. So she had like a lawyer there that she had known. They came in with the top lawyer in California, and as well as these coaches and everything. And when I'm telling you, it wasn't, hey guys, let's get them out there at all,
Yeah.
And that's how that went. So Gil Lemon, if you hear this, we're not friends. We'll never will be.
Gil Lemon, we'll put him on blast. Gil Lemon.
Well, the best part about it is, and what I, kind of take pride in, is the fact that rule no longer exists, and it leveled the playing field in Northern California. They're no longer, De La Salle has no powerhouse on, and no grip on that NCS. They lost their first game in the NCS for forever. And sure, their parents are mad about it. Their coaches are mad about it. They're going to hate hearing me say this. But guess what? All the other teams that now have a actually fighting chance to play against you, and not like, hey, let's keep a kid. We don't let freshmen play up on varsity. We don't let sophomores go up on varsity. So if you're a freshman and you're good, the best you can maybe do is get up on JV. If you're a really good sophomore and you're on JV, we're not going to let you have a chance to get up on varsity. So that time, if you get up to varsity and you're a junior, guess what? If you want to transfer, you're going to have to sit out for your senior year. Might as well stay with us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they know there's no love lost there. They're good. They got all the money. They got all the stuff. They're fine. They'll be okay. My boys I played with, they're still my boys. If you didn't play with me there, even Henry, toe. I know Henry, and it's all love with all those guys. I have zero animosity towards really anybody there, to be honest. It's just.
But you hope they lose every game.
Yeah, like, you guys, you completely tried to do something, and you accomplished it. So I'm not gonna. Yeah, I know it was said. I was there.
Right. And then I wanted to ask too, more into kind of your recruitment, how you ended up there. You touched on quite a bit of it, but do you feel, I guess, talking with teammates and I mean, the landscape of how recruiting works in college football, do you feel like your experience was unique, being that you were a legacy guy? Again, your dad has a ton of connections. I mean, he probably knew every coach that talked to you prior to you being recruited. Was there maybe something different to your recruitment, especially to Tennessee?
Something, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, right. I can speak for the guys that I know, but yes and no. I think there was like a little bit more of, it was different in like, not maybe how you might think, like they did more, but honestly, like not less, but like because they knew like I was a legacy and things like that. And also I was kind of like how Dion said, he's like, hey, I wish like when kids commit to a school, like they can't commit anywhere else. Like when I committed, I literally blocked every coach on my phone. Like there was no communication with anybody else. I wasn't,
Wow.
Yeah, I'm committed here and I'm still going to, I didn't take any more official visits. In hindsight, I wish I took official visits. They're pretty fun.
You got to go to Hawaii. If you're going to burn one in Hawaii.
If I was these kids, I'd go to every single school that's in a state that's just fun to see, or you've never.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. But
absolutely,
I'm
going to Boulder. I'm going to Boulder.
Yeah,
not even just for Dion. Boulder's gorgeous. It's awesome.
Yeah, literally,
UCLA.
Literally, it's all those stuff. So it's like not doing that. I was like, hyper focused on where I wanted to go to school, and leading up to the recruitment, honestly, I don't feel like it was like super hands-on, all that stuff. Like they were just recruiting me, to be completely honest. I actually got the offer in the car headed in to watch Florida State versus Auburn at the Rose Bowl, because my dad just randomly had gotten like some extra tickets. We sat way up in the top by like all the Auburn fans. And they all thought, because they all saw we were the Spartans, so I had a "We Are Spartans" shirt, and they all thought I played for Michigan State, and the only reason they were in was because Michigan State beat, I think, Ohio State. So like they were like, "We love you." They're taking pictures with me and stuff. They think I literally played for Michigan State. I'm like, this makes no sense, Yeah. So like, why would I just be here? And I was a kid. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But like literally got the offer. Coach had called literally while I'm in the car. Sat there, my dad had like put on speaker. He's like, "Look, Kahlil, got a phone call for you." I was like, "Okay," but like, yeah, it was anything like super crazy. No, I think that really came on afterwards when I started recruiting guys. That's when it started to really pick up, and I think that's what's kind of catapulted me into all of this stuff now, like doing kind of that recruiting and, kind of learning how to use social media, both good and bad ways. I always tell people, I'm like, I was dumb enough to be tweeting at other teams' head coaches, trying to like roast them and stuff. Like that's,
heck yeah.
What was I doing?
Are those still out? I've never seen those. Are those still out there? Can we find them?
100% you can find them.
They get deleted.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I probably deleted them. And all that stuff.
Somebody's got them.
There's screenshots. There was a whole article.
Yeah,
like, it was funny. It was like, dude, like it was like funny, but at the same time, it's like the only reason why I was like, I'm never gonna get in trouble for this. It's like, dude, like I literally just said something, and one of their players said something, and then the coach said something to respond to me, like really subtweeting at me. I was like, why would you do that?
Are we talking about Lane Kiffin now? Is that
no, it was Hugh Freeze. It was Hugh Freeze.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, even better.
Other Ole Miss guy.
Yeah, it was funny. It was very funny. It was hilarious. I'm over there. My dad took my phone at dinner. It was hilarious. He's just like, "Kahlil, what did you tweet?" I said, "Oh, nothing." Like,
so you just set the NCAA off on Hugh Freeze, is what you're telling us.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Hey, I put the fire alarms on.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You gotta look at this guy.
Is that part of the reason you committed so early then, is to get other guys on board? Like, is that why I'm sure there are some other things, but felt like it was important to do it that early on? Because that's not normal anymore in college football, to see commits that early, even when you were being recruited.
Yeah. And that was a big part for me. Me going to the opening was a big deal at the time, with kind of everything that was going on and stuff leading back into that conversation about high school and transfer and stuff. But at the same time, it was important to me to make sure that I had good guys with me, and I had built a relationship with guys, especially at the opening and prior and at camps and things like that, where I was like, hey, why don't we all just play together? We had group messages and all this type of stuff, and some of them it's just good. We didn't get some of these guys, but other ones it was like, man, like
would have been nice.
We've been rolling, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was cool, and still being able to have those friends to this day. You know what I mean? Like dude, I'm telling you, like we are a very, very, I feel like, close-knit group of guys, especially talking to other people. Like there's not too many guys that I will talk to where they're like, oh yeah, I still talk to more than 5 of the guys that I played with in college. You know what I'm saying? Like I maybe talked to 30, 40, like legit. Like I'm from walk-ons to equipment to training room people to everyone. Like we were close knit. We went through some things, but you know what I'm saying? That made us pretty close. But like, you know, we were very, very close, and we were very, you know, we all wanted the same thing. And I think wanting the same thing and then not attaining it just brought us closer. So I think it made, you know, when I was trying to go in and recruit the guys, and I was like, hey man, like if we do this, we can really do something special, you know. And yeah, obviously not fulfilling on that one, but like it made us all, while we were there, like we all had the same mindset. Like nobody was there like for their own type of thing. Like, you know, like we literally won as a team and we lost as a team. Like it wasn't like we really weren't too many individuals. There's always going to be some, but we were a team. We really, really were. We were a team.
So are you still close to Darrell Taylor? You all still?
Yeah.
All right. So what was the this just kind of popped in my head as you said, you know, close knit. What was has anybody interviewed him, quizzed him about the battle at Bristol? We gonna whoop they fucking ass? Like how was that literally just off the cuff? Like it just came to him in that moment?
So literally like the video is hilarious because like
that's so great.
They're like videoing. And then like Shy's doing like a little bobblehead thing, and like I'm like right behind. I like
he looks like a receiver too.
Yeah, he's small. Yeah,
he like he was. You should have seen when he came in. The picture that we have together, where like I came in, I was ginormous, and he came in and like he literally looked like the size of one of my legs. It's crazy. Like literally, DT man. That was DT, you know, all go all the time, 1,010% at everything. And just literally he saw the camera and I mean, we all had that kind of mindset. None of us really knew much about VTech. We honestly, like we watched the film, we were ready to go for the game, but like, we weren't like, hey, like, you know, are we scared of these guys? Can they hurt us or whatever? We're like, look at this stadium. Look at all these people. We gonna whoop them. We have to. Like, we actually got to whoop these boys. And literally, DT just got the camera put on him, and he just said the most iconic thing he could have said.
I think that might be one of the greatest videos. Like, it's one of the best videos outside of a highlight in Tennessee sports history.
Literally, it was.
There is
perfect.
There is one by Quay Pico who we actually give a tribute to on this show every time we leave it. His interview about him being small, I think, and he was like, well, Drew Brees about 5'11". And then he just says something, and he's like, you know, when the going gets tough, just bring the boat in. So we say bring the boat in, we out every time that we finish this.
I'm going to text him and tell him that. Literally, I just get a pod, and they use one of your quotes to do it.
Oh, dude, it's all time.
That's great. I mean, Quay was a walking quote machine. I will tell you that. Like, he literally, all he was going to do was just sit there and give you something. Like, he's one of the funniest people ever. And that's the thing. That's why I say, like, we are so close-knit, man. Like, there's guys, like, you wouldn't even know, like they're the funniest people on planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, like Thomas Edwards, you see it now. But, like, y'all have no idea. Like, Thomas is one of the funniest human beings I've ever been around. And it's just crazy, you know? And we just all gelled. Everybody was cool with everybody. And it was just a great time. Honestly, it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So is Battle at Bristol as cool of an experience? Was it as cool of an experience as it seems for a player? Because I loved it. Great. Cool. Very, very cool to be there. Very, very cool to do it.
Yeah.
Me and Landon have joked about it. It's like, I don't know if we go back, we couldn't see anything.
Yeah. And that's what, like, we were saying. We're like, this is so weird. Like, the fans are so far away from us. Because, like, when you go to Florida one time, you have a different outlook on, like, fan player experience. Florida, it probably goes Florida, Philly, Cleveland. Like, though, in that order of, like,
is Buffalo? Have you played at Buffalo?
I haven't played at Buffalo.
Okay.
I haven't played at Buffalo, but, like, I cannot see their fans being worse than Philly, Florida, or Cleveland. Like, I mean, Philly, me and Philly fans, we have, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's just
Florida, Oh yeah, Florida is a different breed, especially because I played D line, and the D line bench is directly behind their student or directly in front of their student section, and they can literally almost touch you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to lose both games there on a Hail Mary, like first time I was mad, and I was just like right there, but second time straight in. I was like, literally get me out. Because look, all their players run towards us. You know what I'm saying? To go to the student section. I'm like, I already know this story. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah.
So
I think
oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I would say I think the Bristol game was like, it was a different experience. Like I was having a little bit too much fun. I got little pictures of me dabbing on the Jumbotron and stuff. Like I was out there with the confetti and stuff. Like
you got the AK grill picture.
No, I don't got the grills. I don't got the, I never did the grills.
It wasn't you. Wasn't your style.
I'm from Wisconsin. If I would have done that, they would have clowned me so hard. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't have got away with that one for any reason at all. So I just stayed away. But no, I think it was a good experience. I think it was, for the players. I like you said, like it was weird, like not having fans that close, and you felt like you could hear, but like for having that many people, like I could think of several stadiums that were louder than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was so spaced out.
Yeah. Do you remember running through the tee for the first time?
Oh yeah. Yes, sir. I mean, it also, so I don't count the game at Nashville because our first game was against Bowling Green at Nashville. But first time running through the tee was Oklahoma at home.
Oh,
checkered kneeling.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Like it was, actually it wasn't. No, it wasn't checkered. It was a checkered kneeling.
It wasn't. Yeah, Oklahoma. We checkered it because they had striped it the year before.
Yep, they striped it the year before, and so that's why they checked. Yeah, so like it was.
That was the first checker kneeling game, actually.
I was about to. Or did we checker it for Florida the year before? Because I couldn't.
No, it's 16. We checkered Florida for the first time.
Gotcha. Because I was like, I came to the Florida game the year.
Wait, you might be right. I think we did checker it after seeing Oklahoma. I think you're right.
You're good. Because I just couldn't remember. I was like, I know we checked it against Florida, but no, yeah, like you go out to all that. Like I was, it's honestly like not like black. I mean, it is like kind of like a blackout. Like I can't tell you who I was next to. I can't tell you, what I did first. All that. I know I went to the end zone and prayed, because I always do that. But like, outside of that, I was
no clue.
Hey, you didn't trip either, so that's a big win.
I'm trying to tell you, like that's the number one thing. Excuse me, I think of every single time I run onto the field is like, if you trip right now, that's it. You got to turn back.
And you're a big dude, so you're probably taking somebody with you too.
Taking somebody with you, and I'm falling like very ungracefully.
Like hard.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I've never asked this question, but I just got curious, kind of talking about leading up to running out of the tee. What is the experience of doing the Maxims like? Because that's a huge tradition. It's been going on since Nealon's been the coach. Does it resonate with players now, or at least does it become kind of like almost like a chant before you go out kind of deal?
Yeah. So for us, I'll tell you, like that's why I said like we were close and we wanted to, like we were a team. Like when we said the Maxims, like we had guys like Jerome, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't want to say the Maxims, you got to see JJ. You know what I'm saying? We do this all the time. Like I literally tweeted it out. Like that little rep he had. Like people were like, oh man, like. He was getting pushed at the end. I'm like, he pushed the dude to the sideline, through the sideline, whatever, and then just said, kind of whatever. Hey, because if I take it any further than this, something might happen. Like I'm like trying to tell you, that's not one of them. You know what I'm saying? It's not what I'm trying. So I was like, we had guys like that, and it's like Kurt Magid, Derek Barnett, like DB.
If I don't want to say it, I'm going to say it.
Yeah, like you gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's another one. Like I'm just like this, like definition of play angry. You know what I'm saying? And like you saw it translate into beating Reggie White's record in 3 years. And that's my brother's godfather. You know what I'm saying? So like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So saying the Maxims before every game was like. It was big, you know what I mean? Like it was one of those things too, where it's like you really that's when you really lock in. You're like, all right, it's time to go now. And that's what I think is kind of cool about it, where NFL, like the game starts and you're just like, you're kind of in the locker room and people just go out and go out and go out. Then you maybe come back in and meet for a little second. Coach might say something, but like you're just going out. You're just going out there to go do your job.
Right. Yeah.
I want to ask about numbers. Is that a recruiting pitch at all? Is like you get to wear a certain number? Because you switched from 1 to 99. So I wanted to ask you about that as well. But yeah, what's that kind of like with recruiting, and like how do you get to choose your number?
So for me, it wasn't like a choice for one. It was kind of like a, hey, you and Chai are gonna be 1 and 2, be really cool type thing.
Yeah.
I actually had 99 fitted and ready to go, trying it on in the equipment room. I'll give you that little piece right there. Like I was in the fitting room back there with my man Hawk trying on 99, ready to go. I was like, I can't wear this one. I can't do it. Jersey was ready and everything, but said, hey, you get to 320, you can have 99. Obviously, I wasn't 320 before week 1 of my freshman year. So literally before spring game that following year, literally was on the scale that morning, came in like 6 a.m. Came in, took a picture of the scale. I was 320 on the dot. And literally, he goes, Jersey will be in your locker. And I was like,
Smart to do it at 6 a.m. You waited till like 10.
No,
yeah. 323 at least.
Yeah, exactly. I
gotta go first.
I haven't eaten in days to get to 320.
Trust me, I'm a big dude. We know you weigh yourself as soon as you get up. You don't even let yourself get a sip of water. Those are 2 different weights. You can go run around for an hour. It might stay the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure if during that time, like going viral was a thing, but the picture of you in one with your practice jersey on, and you can see like your massive legs that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That was viral. I mean, that's one of the the last things I remember like being viral, like on Vol Twitter. It's like, oh my God, look how big this dude is. And he's a freshman.
Trust me, it's still everyone still does it. So there was my second year in Kansas City in OTAs, we had like a little thing trying to figure out how big my calves were. And like I think the over under was set at 20 and a half. It was like 20 and a half for my calves. And like it was over, but it also was like 20 and a half is a high over to pick.
I was gonna go over, so I mean,
yeah, you know what I mean. Like it was,
yeah.
But like, yeah, genetics, man. I wish they had a different answer for you, but literally genetics.
And I mean, growing up in Green Bay, you talk about Wisconsin, like that's kind of they breed just big people.
Oh yeah,
it's part of living there.
Yeah, literally just large people. Like I didn't get blessed like my brother and go from 6 foot to 6'6" in a year. Like he literally had leg surgery and went from 6 foot to 6'6" in 1 year.
Dang, I need that leg surgery.
Right? I was like, man, I missed all of that. I've been 6'3" since my 8th grade year.
Well,
yeah, no, trust me.
That's
it was like, golly, people were like, what's going on? But
yeah,
when he just stayed that the whole time, I was like, golly, I had to fight for 6'3" at pro day for them to give me 6.027 at the combine. I was so pissed.
Just give it to me.
Yeah, just give me 6'3".
Do you ever come back to Knoxville?
So yeah, so I mean I have family there still. My aunt and uncle are both in Tennessee State Legislature.
Okay.
Family still, lives right there in East Knoxville. Still plenty of friends there. So I've been through, especially just driving through, because I like to drive when I would go report for camp and stuff. So I would drive up and things like that. But haven't been to a game since Georgia 2 years ago. Okay. We had an off week, and me and my agent went to that game. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. Went to that one. And, that was the last time I was at a game. We wanted to go this year, but just too hectic. And, with having a little one, and there was also a lot of excitement around the team this year. So it was like, everybody's like, hey, like, we're like booked out from from months out. And it's like, for players, it's always easy because we can just be on the field and kind of do whatever because we're alumni. But like when you got the kid and all this stuff, and then it's like, you know, it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah. So, but no, yeah, definitely got to get back there and, you know, see the guys, see my people there and everything, and see some old faces, new faces and everything. Cause I haven't met Coach Heupel. I'm, you know, super appreciative of what he's doing. And, you know, I want to see I saw Coach Martinez the last time I was there because he was still there. And, you know, he came over, gave him a big old hug and stuff. And Coach Jancic was actually on the opposite staff at there. So it was awesome. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
You're probably, I'd say you're one of the more vocal players on Twitter, former players, excuse me. You clearly you follow I don't know if you get the chance to watch every Saturday, but every Saturday you can. You're watching the game and live tweeting throughout it. Do you feel that so you talk about being close with your guys, does everybody feel like Vol fans in the mix?
That's a good question. I think once we all left, like that was like the biggest thing. We're like, I see what being a fan is like. It's like this is difficult. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially when you have
a love-hate relationship for sure.
Yeah, because like, once I left Green Bay, like, you know, I was the Raider fan, you know, and then I was obviously I'm from Green Bay. You know, I bleed green and gold. I just have to. But it's like at the same time, it's like you kind of just like switch up your kind of motives, if you will. But college is completely different. You were there, you lived it, you went to the classes, you know the people. Like you're seeing every time I watch a game, I see multiple people that I know, like personally.
Yeah, right.
So it's like this is I feel everything in the game and stuff. So it's like it makes it difficult because you want to see them succeed, but you also know how hard it is and how, you know, me and my brother actually had this conversation recently, and we're just like, football is like, it's so much more luck than we really give it credit for. There is a skill aspect to it. There's a work aspect to it, all that. But like luck in just happening to have the ball roll your way. The Cowboys were a phenomenal football team this year. Yeah. They're not going to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know many of them. And I know that they all thought that they were going to go to a Super Bowl. And they're not. You know what I'm saying? It just it's the way that the game is. It will forever be just that way. It won't ever change. It won't ever become, just, you know, the best team or the most talented team or whatever. Like it's just not going to go that way. So it's I think we all kind of get it, the fan aspect of it. I think, like I said, I'm one of those guys where I've kind of dealt with it kind of for a long time now, from fans, from everybody, from all corners of, like I said, coaches, you know, like especially on social media, I've learned really, like, that's not the real world at all. I've never heard a single thing that I've ever heard on Twitter in real life, you know? So it's like, it's a fake world. I'm kind of just there, you know, I'm just reporting whatever I kind of feel like. So that's why I enjoy it, you know, and I enjoy doing like things like this and, you know, interacting with people and interacting with the fans and stuff. Cause it's fun. It's fun to interact. Right. It's fun to kind of tell people. And I always have this kind of thing that I say on my podcast. I'm like, hey, like if nobody's ever told you that was stupid, I'll be the one.
I'll volunteer.
I will volunteer. Like I used to joke with guys and be like, hey, like if we really want to like get mad at each other and we really want, you know, we want to fight, we want to do that, like I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin, man. That's gonna look really bad on your resume, you know. I'm gonna whoop your ass, you know. And like that's just how I was raised and how I kind of conduct myself, and you know, it hasn't proven wrong for me yet, you know. So I'm okay there.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
Like, okay, and it's fun seeing because you have kind of entered that fan perspective similar to everybody else, but you still have the player perspective, so it's unique and it's fun to see guys like you tweeting during the games, whether it's like insightful or if it's just anger about a play or excitement about a play. It's fun because a different perspective. I hope, since you're a Vol fan, what is your hate level for Alabama? Because me and Landon discussed this on the podcast the other day.
So I have my physical trainer, physical therapist that did my rehab and everything. She has a strong dislike for the word hate. She won't say it. And when I tweeted or I posted on Instagram and I was like, it's Bama Hate Week, she was like, we do not use that word. And I was like, I hate the University of Alabama.
Yeah.
Like,
It's different. You got to understand.
Yeah, you got to understand. I hate the University. Like especially after freshman year, like that proved to me that there was a chance to get them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was, we almost had it. Like it was, and that game is so funny to me because, quick story, I had my O lineman kind of locked out and put my arm out to tackle Derrick Henry, and he runs straight through that freshman meaty little arm on his way to scamper to the end zone, and literally Strip goes, right here, buddy. You're gonna be right next to me for a little bit. So I was just like, it was a good moment though. Like I was like, okay, like it is real. Like that dude's really big. Like
right.
I can't just be like this and just like, I'm gonna just grab him with one arm. Yeah. And like that's just like probably gonna work out fine for me. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a rest in peace to Alex Collins, but I have probably one of my coolest and fondest memories is playing Arkansas my freshman year because that offensive line, I mean, that was the only week coach came up to me. He's like, me and Shai, you guys can eat whatever you want this week. I don't care. You guys need every ounce of it. I mean, they're online. Their center was, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but he was like 345. And then the rest of them were like 350 plus. You know what I'm saying? Like they were huge. Dan Skipper, I think, is the other one still playing, and maybe Denver Kirkland. I don't know. I'm really trying to remember who their center is. I think he might be still playing too, but they're all really good players and like just really, really big and strong. And I had a really cool play where I was tackling Alex Collins with like both knees on the ground, like taking on a double team with one arm, but like grabbing him with the other. And I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool. I was like, this is pretty cool.
That's what the Hulk feels like.
Yeah, that's what it has to be, because I was just like, man, I don't want to do it again. But
that was a Brett Bielema offensive line, so you know they were huge.
Yeah. Oh, they were huge, and they were going to run the ball. They did run the ball. You know, I ain't gonna lie, they did run the ball.
Tell everybody where they can find like your podcast and everything.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Man, shout out to you guys too, man. This has been awesome. It's a really cool platform and everything too. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and you know, all the questions have been super duper awesome. I know a lot of guys, a lot of the biggest problems and, you know, scare, I guess, is when they go on things like this is, man, are they going to be like, oh man, what about that one time when you got, you know, ran over or something? It's like, okay, dude, do you want to just yell?
I don't remember that anymore.
I have a legitimate thing about being on my back. So like, I know every single time I've ever been on my back. The last time, well, there's been 2 times. The last time was Orlando Brown and Bradley Bozeman double teaming me.
Pretty good offensive lineman.
Yeah. Well, they stayed on the double team for like 7 yards. And I was like, dude, like the play is way back there. Like, get off to your linebacker. I literally told Orlando, I was like, get off to your linebacker, sir. Like, what are you doing? This is 700 pounds right here. And then the other one was Lester Cotton freaking tackling, I forgot who their running back was at the time, but like I tackled their running back, and Lester's gonna just like fall over both of us, and like he's on top of me, and like I've known Lester same way, opening guy, all this stuff, so I had known him for a long time. I'm like, Lester, if you don't get your first off me right now, like I'm trying to like push him off, like punch the ball out too, like I'm like, this is, it pisses me off ever being on my back. But no, man, I truly appreciate it. But yeah, you guys can find my podcast is FTR _ for the record podcast on Instagram. Same thing on Twitter. And then it's called For the Record on YouTube. You guys can follow my YouTube channel. You guys can follow me, and all the links are there as well. But yeah, kind of just like this. We're just sitting, talking shop, and, you know, getting to know people. My whole thing is people get a chance to set the record straight. Whatever you might think about somebody or what their job is or who they are, they get a chance to let you know who they really are. So
that's awesome.
I like that mantra there. And for Vol fans too, you have an episode with Trey Smith
I do.
as well. I've gotten to listen to about half of it, and it's a lot of fun hearing you two go back and forth.
Yeah. Trey is a good one. My dad one is a good one too. So for Vol fans to listen to, I think you guys will really like both of those, especially the Vol fans that live in Knoxville. Yeah, I think you guys there'll be a little bit of nostalgia too in there with my dad's.
Some Roadrunner stories.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So there's some good stories in there for East Knoxvillians, and then for the West Knoxvillians, the Trey Smith episode is pretty cool as well. So
well, awesome. I do have one more question. Caleb, I don't know if you have one more, but I got a final question here.
I'm good. I'll let you have the final shot here.
You did leave after your junior year. Did enter the draft, so you technically have 1 year of eligibility left. I hear there's a guard opening spot on this offensive line for next year. Would you take it?
I mean, if that was like a real thing, like if I could actually go back and do that, like, come on, dude.
Absolutely.
Knoxville, Tennessee, like, and be in BS. If that was a real thing, if I could actually go back and play with my eligibility and all, oh my goodness.
Do you look at the fast-paced offense though? Do you look at that and you maybe question it? You're like, hey, let's slow this down. Have you ever thought about letting Nico look at the defense first?
Well, so here there's two folds to that. Now I'll leave you with that. That's kind of like you said before, like being able to give like maybe a different look on things. Like fast pace means that the defense can't get set and they can't communicate, which is everything on defense. If you're lining up and just going, defense can't really make checks, can't do anything. And then you put somebody in motion, like they have to know what all that stuff means. So that's why that's like a extremely hard thing, especially for college. Like playing defense in college is insanely difficult because offenses are NFL level or crazier. You know what I'm saying? Like with some of the offenses that are in college. So you don't get like just all this time to dissect the play, understand what it means, get set, checks, all that type of stuff. Oh, if you got a blitz, are we checking out of it? Are we doing this? All this stuff. These guys are just gunning. So yes, it can allow for a defense to play like a quote unquote simpler, style of defense. But if you play like that, then you better hope that that's going to stop that defense. And then you got to make sure all your guys are on point, so it's kind of twofold. It's twofold. I'm somebody who, I like checks. I like checks on offense. I like to sit there and just look at everything and make sure everybody's good. But at the same time, like tempo is fun too, because you just get up there and you just go. We got to play and we just go.
Absolutely.
And I think with all this, like everybody's trying to get a waiver, all this, like you can transfer whenever you want. I feel like we could sneak you in somehow. Like he's just like another transfer in this.
They say if there's a will, there's a way. So
exactly. All right.
Hey,
you're just a phone call away.
I was about to say, somebody tell Coach Heupel, my phone is always open.
Football owes you a senior year. You haven't gotten a single one. Football owes it to you.
I haven't played a full football season since my freshman year. So
that's
it's
crazy.
like, it's like that's the game. That's why I'm like I'm telling you, like you can't say nothing to like a lot of guys, but like for me, I'll just speak for myself. Like it bounces right off me. I'm like I'm out here still doing it, man. I'm good. I'm very proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I'm like, especially with this UFL season coming up, I'm very excited and getting a chance to get back out there and just show, just what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? So
when does that season start?
March 30th is the first game.
Awesome. Well, we now have a team.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I got my battle Hawks.
The DC team's got a lot of VFLs too, so I'll shout out my guys there. You know what I'm saying? So I know they got Skid Dog on there. They got Ethan Wolf on there. I'm missing somebody else. I think they've got either a wideout or a DB. I hate that I can't remember it right now, but I always remember wherever Skid Dog is because Alex Ellis, that's my guy. That is my guy. I love Alex so much. That's
got the fake field goal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Skid Doggy. Skid Doggy, man. That is I like I'm telling you, we're a close knit group, bro.
That's awesome.
Skid Dog he's my dog. That's a guy.
Awesome. Well, Kahlil, hey, we appreciate this. This has been awesome. Appreciate the time. This has been an hour long, which we don't normally go that long, but we're just having a good time shooting the shit. We're gonna do it. So we appreciate you. And
so I get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just goes over like that. But that's a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have a time limit. We love it, and like Landon said, appreciate your time coming on here and love your perspective, and great follow on Twitter for Vol fans, and we're gonna love following you wherever you go to. And for now, Battlehawks fans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
If you're back in Knoxville, hit us up. We have a big tailgate every game, so come through.
Yeah. Without a doubt, man. That's one thing I've still never done in my life is ever tailgate. So I'm very excited to
be
able to tailgate in Knoxville.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of Oklahoma friends, so I'm very excited about the next few years.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be in Texas soon too at some point.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Austin's nuts.
Yeah,
just tell you that Austin's nuts. I went up there for a UFC event. It's like a zoo.
Ready for it.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. We appreciate it. Again, looking forward to you this UFL season and cheering for you, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys.
See you, man.
See you.
It was VFL Kahlil McKenzie. Really appreciate his time, and I hope he had a good time. It seemed we went for an hour, which I loved. It was good to just mix it up. Just guys being dudes, talking a little ball. So appreciate his time, and hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. Make sure you check out Kahlil on all his socials, and follow his podcast. He mentioned the one with his dad, Kahlil McKenzie, as well. But
Reginald.
Did you? I don't think I knew he was the second. But he's Reginald Kahlil McKenzie
Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying I didn't know his dad. I didn't realize they shared the same name. And then it's
yeah. And then he got Trey. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I realized that until doing some digging and research. Because I knew his dad was Reginald, so I didn't. Because did he have McKenzie?
Did he have what?
Junior or the second on his jersey, or was it just McKenzie?
I think he had McKenzie Jr. Later on in his career.
Okay.
I don't think he did at first, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't either remember that or even realize that until later. So
yeah.
But no, really cool. And yeah, he does have his dad on, and I started that today. I haven't finished it yet, but make sure you're following him on all his socials and checking that out. And then also go buy your St. Louis Battlehawks gear. Or he threw out, he gave you the green light to cheer for DC if you need to go there.
Mm-hmm.
If he said it's okay.
You can have two teams, but we all know we're St. Louis Battlehawks fans.
Exactly. Big, always have been.
Yeah, diehard. All right. Let's start wrapping this show up. We don't have any questions.
You just want to. I didn't realize it's been an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. I do want to mention Keyshawn Boutte, just a stupidity of mine.
Yeah, that's good.
It's all time. Not only to get caught gambling, you were gambling on yourself, but you didn't win. There was an 8-leg parlay where you had to have over 82 yards receiving and a touchdown and got neither one of those. That's just yikes. And then I did see something earlier where
that's bad. I think it's worse that his gambling losses got just broadcasted to the
world. Also, there's already a highlight tape of Keyshawn Boutte's highlights, I guess, in that Florida State game where he lost that money and he dropped 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah. I will say this. If he was never betting against LSU, I'm on it. I'm for it. If he's always betting for him, I'm with it.
Yeah, just bad look.
Not especially
you can't bet on yourself and lose. That just
right. And then also with that, you have a felony charge now.
Yeah. Also using your mom's credit card, maybe not the best way.
And just an interesting choice of a fake persona too. I'll just leave it at that.
and like he got caught easily because he started using it in Massachusetts too. So, all time.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
rough.
I love the stories that come out now because
Absolutely.
like that's a story that like without technology never comes about.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people hate technology. But the fact that it brought that story to light is awesome.
And legalize gambling, so you have to support it now because we don't get that great story if he was going to a bookie.
It's true.
We don't know we at least he might get caught potentially, but we don't know his wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he bet on. They can see everything he bet. Also, over a 13-month span, he averaged 24 bets a day.
Yeah.
That man was addicted.
Yeah. Yeah, they got him. I think it would be really cool. You know how like the longest yard or like people like come up with these all NFL prison teams and how they compete against regular NFL teams. I think we kind of have the same thing with like a World Series of poker and just have like these degenerate athletes that gamble too much and that's their downfall of their career. Like Alabama's head coach should be at the table. Keyshawn Butte, obviously. Yeah, I'd like to add.
I don't know. Alabama's coach is a loser. He bet against himself. That's losers. That's loser mentality. I have zero respect for that.
He wanted to win either way. It was a strategic hedge, was it?
I guess he didn't really win that much money though, right? Like LSU was heavily favored.
Yeah, it wasn't enough money to get fired.
Dude, I would have put $100,000 on my freshman pitcher, walked in and showed him my bet slip and be like, sack up tonight, honey. Like, we got to go win this thing. That would have been a hell of a motivational tool.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're going to the bars tonight. Joey Freshwater's coming out with us. Let's go.
Yeah, that's there's some great sports gambling stories that's come about in the last couple of years. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm just going to be 100% honest. If I was a professional athlete, I would bet on games I was playing in only for myself.
Yeah.
I would take myself to cover all the time.
If you're going to put the losses out there, let's just see the bet slips. Like I want to see the full 8-leg parlay that he put in.
We'll at least see some of them. We'll see the LSU ones, right? When in court docs,
I guess
they'll have to present. I don't know. I mean, I guess they may present all of them, but we'll definitely see the LSU ones because they'll have to use those as evidence. Well, I guess they'll have to use all of them because it's just illegal for NCAA or illegal for
athletes too.
Well, it's also illegal that he was using a fake name and like that's the felony too, and using someone else's credit card. So we should see all of the bet slips at some point.
Okay, I can't wait because I'm hoping that he hit everything except for the 2 that were just him.
He didn't even have to update that. He didn't. You go and check it. You don't think you hit it, but you refresh it just to see. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I don't know who like wrote the article, but it's all time to like put that out, and then at the end it just says did neither.
I didn't see that article. That's amazing. Don't lost my train of thought. I was gonna say oh gosh. All right, yep, moving on.
That's all I got for stupidity. I didn't really have a lot this week. Again, kind of a weird week. Did get some recruiting news. Got an awesome interview with Kahlil and McKenzie, but other than that, just not a lot going on. But basketball's back on Saturday, and then we got 22 days until baseball season's back.
Yeah, no, definitely. Another kind of quick fun fact that I want to throw out for the, just doing research on Kahlil McKenzie, and this is not, I feel like it's going to sound like a slight to Kahlil. It's not. He just did not play offensive line in his career at all. And it was, I may be, this may be revisionist history, but didn't we all know that the NFL wanted him, like pretty much anyone who was going to take him was going to take him as an offensive lineman by that point, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they announced it as a guard,
right?
Offensive lineman. Yeah.
Khalil McKenzie was drafted as an offensive lineman ahead of Trey Smith. That's not a slight to Khalil. That's a slight to, and I know Trey had his health issues, but he even played after that. Yeah. So that's a slight to other NFL organizations and it's because of the player Trey Smith was, and now he's probably going to win 2 Super Bowls. I mean, That's crazy that he was not in the same draft class, by the way, to be clear. I thought people will say that. It's still a crazy just stat or fact.
Right. And it is crazy that Kahlil McKenzie got drafted for another position
that he never played. That's impressive. That's super
played
impressive.
it in the NFL, and there's guys that get drafted a lot higher than him at the position they played and never played.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I mean, so definitely not a slight because that is also incredibly impressive that he got drafted at that position.
Yeah.
Just wanted to, I feel like it could be taken that way, but if you know anything about Trey Smith and you know anything about playing offensive line in the NFL, you should know it's not. It's just crazy that it happened.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show how fit matters in the NFL.
For sure.
And also timing and everything kind of has to fall in place for it to work out because Jamarcus Russell was the most for sure thing in the NFL, and he did.
Yeah, I think that was part of just the Raiders are the Raiders too. So what you do. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a good Friday. Close out the week strong. We'll be back here maybe Saturday night. We haven't discussed it. Maybe Saturday night for a brief little post gamer. But we will definitely be back Sunday. Excuse me. And then we got some more exciting stuff coming up next. That's the following week, isn't it? Following week for sure, and potentially even sooner than that. But we'll keep you guys updated on those things. We appreciate you all listening as always, supporting, just being a part of this this fun stuff, and can't wait for more.
Yeah, go check out our sponsors, Grade A Grounds, rowback.com. Use GoVols for Grade A Grounds, and then use More Important Issues promo code to get 20% off your first purchase with rowback.com. Thanks again. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.